Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with game number one of So Koopy versus the Rambo, and this is going to be a very interesting game just because we haven't really seen many 2v2 game setups too often. Usually these players play in their own scrims or their own little casual game modes, but how do you think this game is going to go today, Mr. Freeze?
Like you said, we haven't seen a lot of 2v2 action yet, so it'll be different for sure. I think that, well, clearly the crowd favorite is Dacoops and So Lucky. They have 94% in the predictions right now, so they are the favorite to win. I think we have seen both of these two players, Dacoops and So Lucky, play very solidly. We've seen a little bit less of Icrom and Dark Killer, but not to like trashing them or anything. They are both very good players as well. So we'll see how it goes. This is the second loop starting up now.
We'll definitely see here. Not a whole lot happened there in that last loop. It looks like just So Lucky was the only member able to get it on top of the point, still alive, while the rest are desynced here. 5 seconds left on the clock. They're going to make their push, and Mischief and Mayhem going on top of the point with 3 members, scratch that, 2 members, both clone 2s for red side. So Koopy getting on top of the point. And this is going to be pretty crazy. I mean, third and final loop, there's going to be, how many players is 3, 6, and then 12. So 12 altogether going to be making their way towards a point. So this is going to be a lot of madness here, especially when grenade launcher comes into play. We've got 3 seconds left in the clock. The players are going to make their push here. You see Dark Killer, Clone 3 still left alive, and I Crumble. They're able to clear up house and instead get the first point of the game.
So that was quite a turnaround. We saw So Lucky and Dacoops had point control those first 2 loops. And it came down to Dark Killer and iCarombo turned it around at the very end here.
And just when
A lot of shots going off.
we definitely thought that So Lucky and Dacoops were going to be able to get on top of the point. I mean, they did pretty strong the first round, second round with not a whole lot of contest. And then they just slowly got swept over.
Yeah, a lot of bullets going off at the very end there. The Dacoops team were able to clean up at the very last moment to get that point. And it looks like in this first loop, Dacoops is going to be the only one on point with full health, although he did grab a health pack at mid.
Most likely, we're probably going to see some kind of counterplay around that here. Kind of hard to say. I mean, there's not a whole lot of strategy. There's a very generic strategy from what I've seen so far. I think it's just deal the health packs on left and right side and then just try to shoot each other.
Health packs, like usual, are very important in this. You do want to play all of them and make sure that the opponents do not get them. I mean, you want to beat them to the opponent. We also saw some interesting pre-fire from So Koopy. They both fired straight down mid with their 2s. Full spray, I believe they used their entire magazine. So they're looking to catch some bullets on this third loop push.
And players make their way onto the side here. We see a final loop. Dacoops playing around on base, picking up the health pack, making his way. He does pin down Dart quite a bit. And now they're going to make their push. You see red team coming in strong, but they might get taken out. No, all they got to do is take on Dark Killer's clone 2, but they weren't able to. That's 2 clone 3s for red team. So Koopy on top of the point with only 1 for the Rambo.
That 1 HP clone 2, that was Dark Killer on point. Pushed into no T, and now both of these loop 3 players of So Koopy are at mid. Usually we see the players who are at midpoint are at a pretty good disadvantage there because of pre-fires and the like. However, on this map, since it's farther away and since you don't necessarily have line of sight directly off of the get-go, it's not as dangerous. So I think that clone 2 will die up here in just a moment, but we'll see where they go and how they react.
Looks like Dart is going to be able to get away just in the nick of time here, but with 3 HP, not a whole lot he can do here. He's going to have to rely on his teammate iCarombo to make some sort of play. He's going to push on top of the point, and he probably will get deleted. There he goes, and there goes iCarombo as well. That's all clones for the Rambo being taken down, and 3 clones alive for So Koopy.
And we see So Koopy, both those players just putting a lot of good damage down. They have some good point control here. Their three is a little bit low on HP, no health packs up, so that will be a little bit of a disadvantage in this third loop, though.
Pretty dangerous here. Dart Killer's Clone 2 still able to make a getaway, but Dacoops and So Lucky not looking so good. 35 HP for So Lucky, 25 for Dacoops. They could get deleted at any moment so far, and there goes Dacoops' Clone 3. That's going to be it for him, and now it's up to So Lucky if he wants to make the play, but it looks like he got taken down somewhere along the line. But no, the game is still not over as we go into another overtime.
Dacoops, they are pushing into another OT here. Dacoops specifically, he actually pushed up his left side, took out some clones. It was a good push while So Lucky and Dacoops' three were playing it safe. Their threes were low. They wanted their clones to do work for them. And actually did end up that way because both the Dacoops and So Lucky's threes died, and their clones were able to push an OT for them. So smart plays by them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to clear out Dacoops' team. And we have another OT here. I believe Dacoops' threes are on point. At least one of them are.
You see, so both twos for So Koopy on top of the point here. Almost got taken out here by some of the pre-fire. Both are still able to make it alive, but Dacoops has 23 HP and So Lucky with 10. There's not going to be a whole lot they can do on this next loop, but I believe on the third and final loop, they do have a bit of advantage. Is that right, Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, So Lucky and Dacoops loop 2, they are at a pretty big disadvantage with the health points. However, I believe at least one of Icaramba or Dark Killer's Clone 3s is on point here with less than full HP. Yes, the Dark Killer is on. Icaramba will have a full, fresh 3.
And that's 40 HP onto Dark Killer, and only clone 1 for the Rambo's team is going to get taken down here. Looks like it was Karambo's clone 1. Both players going to try to play it safe, try to take each other whatever they can down. Right now, Dacoops is focusing clone 2 and clone 1 for Dart, but players are going to make their way onto the point here. You can see So Lucky and Dacoops, full health, more or less, able to take down the last clone. Yes, they will. It's going to be 1 point for So Koopy.
Good cleanup by So Koopy. We see both Dacoops and So Lucky. They push hard left here in both of their threes, playing together, doubling the firepower, and they take out Icaramba right away. Looks like So Lucky is the one who does. I had overview, so I wasn't quite sure. But then whenever they push him point here, Dark Killer's 3 is already really low. I believe it was So Lucky who put some good shots on him across the field there. He was just one shot, and then the two were able to clean up on point. Well played, 1-1 in rounds.
And I feel like that's definitely like a communication thing. They must have said, hey, let's both go this exact same way and make a solid push, because they seem to be more grouped up on that one side. You saw Dark Killer's clone 2 and clone 1 just clumped up together there.
For sure, that was definitely deliberate. It was a good idea, good plan too. Both of them pushing one side means that they're much more likely to take out one of the threes, forcing a 2v1 situation, and then at that point it's another 2v1 situation with the other three. So good plays by So Koopy. They took that round, and I think we've only seen SMGs so far.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, no shotguns, definitely no lasers, no rifles. Sometimes in these maps we'll definitely see rifles, just because it does have some level of merit to it. But of course, these players, they practice so much with their SMG, most likely the case that they just feel much more comfortable using it, and especially since rifle isn't in the best spots right now as well.
I'm surprised Akrumbo hasn't pulled out a rifle yet.
Now, let's see Icaramba. He's going to make a push over onto the center point, trying to take the health pack, and with his speed demon-like skills, he's going to try to make a getaway here, but no, he gets taken down by So Lucky. Meanwhile, So Lucky trying to make his push, and Dacoops already on top of the point with a very healthy-looking member alongside of him with So Lucky's clone 2. They're going to capture the second point.
I love how chaotic it gets on point here whenever both teams, Loop 3, are pushing on. As we saw here, Icaramba got picked off low by So Lucky's 3. And I believe So Lucky was able to resync. Or no, I was incorrect. He still had health after fighting off the rest of Icaramba's clones. Both threes are on point to take the second round for them.
Now, what I learned from some of these players is they always try to plan for overtime just in case. So sometimes they'll, at the very end on that last loop, you saw Dacoops fire onto So Lucky's clone 3, not just to kind of like celebrate or throw some BM, but for the possibility that maybe they missed a clone that on the other team that was on top of the point. So if they kill them, they're going to respawn back at base.
Hmm. Yeah, and in 2v2, overtimes are actually a little bit more prevalent, just because of all the chaos that happens. You can't always clean up if you don't do enough killing in the previous loops.
Karombo able to take down Dacoops on a one-on-one battle, especially due to speed demon-like skills. Dacoops, however, did manage to get back up with another health pack, and he's gonna end up turning the tides in his favor, getting So Koopy on top of the point with 2 clones for So Lucky.
So Loki's 2 clean up the last 2 clones on point there. We saw Icarombo's 2 stole the Coops' 1's health pack. We'll see how So Koopy answer that.
Dacoops already getting taken out very early onto this match. He probably has to rush into the health pack, most likely the one back in the base, and there he comes right back up. Now we see Karombo nowhere to be spotted. It looks like he might have got taken down. Dart had to make his push, but he got taken down as well. Now it's only the 2 clones left for blue side, and no, they get taken down. That's the game win for So Koopy.
3 rounds to 1. Icarombo and Darkkiller were able to take the first round off of So Koopy, but they answered back with 3, and they will be taking this game. Good fragging by both teams are honestly doing some good cleanup, but we see Dacoops and So Lucky just had a little bit better aim, a little bit better shots placed. Icarombo and Darkkiller's clones just weren't really surviving as well as we saw them in the first round. They had a really good turnaround that first game, but they weren't able to keep that streak up. So, GG's.
GG's all around, and that's just game 1 and a best of 3. So we'll be right back for game number 2. And we're back with game number 2 of So Koopy versus Durambo, with So Koopy leading 1 game in a best of 3 over Durambo. Now it's up to Durambo to see if they're able to make a comeback here. And Mr. Freeze, do you think Durambo has a chance of making a game comeback in this?
I think they do. We saw it happen in the first round. They were able to turn around. So lucky Dacoops had point control in the first 2 loops, but they completely swapped it in loop 3. So I think they can definitely do it. I think they just need to outfrag So lucky and Dacoops. These 2 players are so good with aim, SMG. I mean, I think it just comes down to getting a couple more headshots, really.
Now there was something interesting that happened while I was spectating. I think it was Dacoops here. One of the players, I think it was Dacoops, that fired a barrier onto Darkkiller's clone 1 that kind of blocked his entranceway into the health pack to give him a slight advantage. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, those yellow barriers can certainly be used, not as well as in 1v1s, because the 1v1 barriers are right next to those ramps that everyone always runs up pretty much. But yeah, I mean, you could certainly do something here with them.
There's also a really cool play on Cargo where you can shoot the barrier and it kind of flies up in a certain way where you can jump off it and jump onto a different ramp. But it's so cool how these players use these barriers to their advantage. Just slight little elements, new ones being picked up here. But speaking of new ones, Crumble might be able to pick up another new kill, but no, he gets taken down instead. So Lucky gets taken down as well. So now it's up to Dacoops. He's kind of not near the point here, but no. Oh, blue team ending up turning it around here, clearing off the last member of red team.
Yes, and as we see, iCrumb and Darkkiller, Durambo, they have taken the first round again. So this is either going to be a good start for them or a repeat potentially of the last game. We'll see what happens here.
Who knows?
A good cleanup.
Maybe we're in some sort of time loop paradox where they just repeat the same thing over and over again. Good thing about paradoxes, they can be changed. Not a whole lot of different playstyle. Looks like typically these players, they just go straight for the health packs on each side and then make their way back to a more defensive play. And blue
yeah, it's a pretty good strategy. A pretty common strategy, I think, is rushing those side packs tier 1. We actually saw Darkkiller was staying just outside the barrier. Him and iCrumbo had a good crossfire down mid in that first loop.
Second loop. You see, it looks like So Lucky able to spot out Darkkiller's clone 1, take him down. So Lucky playing a little bit defensive. He's going to get spotted out by Karambol, and now they're going to make their push on their way to the point. And only Dacoops is going to be the one alive with half HP on top of the point.
So Dacoops played top right, top left. So Lucky played bottom right here.
And it's interesting how these two players, they coordinate pretty well. Dacoops typically plays at base from what I've seen. So Lucky looks like he goes on the hunt for whatever clones he can pick up here. We see 1 clone for Dart taken out, but clone 3 taken out for So Lucky, and there's no health pack for him to get back on. So it's up to Dacoops to make his play. He gets taken down, but his clone 2 is still alive with Darkkiller, but just barely.
Darkkiller had that round. He just did not have enough time. He needed a fraction of a second more to clear that last clone of Dacoops and take that round. These have been some pretty close games.
I mean, Dacoops' clone 2 had a sliver of health left. One little shot anywhere would have taken him down, even a melee, but it was just not enough time.
Just barely not enough time. We see Darkkiller and iCrumbo are really holding their own against these two. They took last round. They almost took this past round. Pushed it into an OT, unfortunately, because he couldn't get that last shot, but as we can see, Dacoops' clone here, I believe he has 3 HP.
Ooh, but he ran over. Oh, he's running for the health pack here. That's a pretty smart play. He knew that was the only health pack still available on the map, but that could get counterplayed at a later loop. We'll have to see how that plays out. So Lucky getting destroyed by the barrel, also potentially counterplayable in the last loop. And this one is only going to be Dacoops, along with the other blue clones on top of the live for Durambo. But that could change in loop number 3.
Unfortunately, Dacoops wasn't firing at all there. I'm thinking his gun might have jammed, that's why he was just playing evasively, trying to stay alive.
We see Dark Killer rushing towards back on his base. They might be able to steal the health pack. Yeah, they steal the health pack away from Dacoops too, so that's gone. And now both players are going to make their plays around Ikarambo. Clone 1 going to get taken down by Dacoops and Clone 3, and now the push. They're going to make their way on top, and Dacoops survive through this here. He does, but that Clone 3 not looking so good.
Another OT here. Dacoops' 2 taking the home health pack of Dacoops was denied, but he did a good job there in forcing them to take it early, which puts Lucky at a good position for keeping them from resyncing. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way with 2 clones from each team on point. In his first loop, a lot of shots going out, but none really landing till the very end here, and Ikarambo cleans up.
And it's kind of hard to stay alive on top of the point with 2 players making their aim, plus all your previous clones firing at the same time. I mean, well, we can see that Clone 2 getting killed by their own member, Darambo, shooting each other in the face. Oh no. So now it's up to, who was that? Who got taken down? Was it Karambo? No, it was Dark Killer.
Dark Killer.
I can imagine Dart in his own comms chat, both of them speaking in French, just yelling at each other.
So Lucky's 2 did get taken out there, but Ikarambo's 2 with 1 HP, 1 hit away, gets taken out before he's able to fully make it up a ramp.
I have a feeling that Dacoops Clone 3 is not going to be able to survive through this. We'll have to see how that plays out here. Yes, exactly. So now it's up to So Lucky if he wants to make a play. I'm going to follow So Lucky here, see what he has to do to answer back. And he gets brought down 40 HP. Might get taken out by Karambo. No, he takes Karambo out. And now it's up to Dart to make that counterplay here. Why your name's so close, we'll have to see. And they're going to make their push. But unfortunately, again, only Darambo on top of the point. And they're going to get the second point. We're getting one step closer to victory.
Sulking Dacoops, Team Sokupi was at a pretty big disadvantage whenever Dacoops died straight off the point there. He had like 1 HP. It was expected to happen. So Lucky knew it was going to happen, but facing off against those 2-3, so Lucky just wasn't able to pull it out. Gets killed by Dark Killer's 3, and Dark Killer is able to clean up 1 point. They have 2 rounds over Sokupi now. They were 1 round away from sweeping.
Now going back to the channel point predictions, what were the percentage on that?
So actually, last game I had it swapped. When I took a quick glance at it, it was 94% in Darambo's favor. They actually did not end up winning. This time around, 96% of points in Sokupi's favor, and it's looking like Darambo might be running away with this one. So pretty interesting. Definitely closer games than I think some people were maybe predicting, but they've been good.
How many points are on Darambo's team? I'm wondering. Whoever bet that might end up with a lot of points this time around.
It's very possible.
Oh dear.
A big point return, 22%.
Wow, okay. And
1 to 22.
Ikarambo still able to live on top of the point. Tiny bit of health left. Now, cast your bet now. Is this going to be the final loop for Darambo on this game and they're going to win the point? Or is it going to be Dacoops and So Lucky? See how this plays out here. Karambo gonna play it very aggressively, trying to take down So Lucky. He does. He's gonna play around the health pack, get right back into the action here. Meanwhile, Dart back in base, forced to pick up his own health pack, and that's Dacoops getting taken down as well. This could be it for them. So Lucky, nowhere near, might be able to take one down, but no, it's gonna be blue side win to Rambo.
A sweep by Dacoops. We see So Lucky gets taken out early on the right side by Ikarambo, and Dark Killer rushes back up with his 3 to take the home health pack. Or rushes back to take the home health pack. When So Lucky resyncs, he's not able to get the kills, and unfortunately, Dacoops actually died from Dark Killer's 1. From a pre-fire or previous spraying, the last bullet was by Dark Killer's 1. So Dacoops gets taken out in that way from a previous loop, and So Lucky just isn't able to clean up. That's a sweep in Darambo's favor. Or Darambo's favor.
And with Darambo taking that game, that leads us into our third game for the best of 3, winner takes all. So we'll be right back in just a few moments. game number 3, best of 3 match. Sokupi versus Darambo. Both players going 1 game to 1 game win. Winner takes all in this last game. We'll have to see who's gonna win. And I don't even know who to cast a vote for in this game. Could go either way, Mr. Freeze.
It really could. Honestly, I'm feeling Dacoops. I think that they are going to pull it away, but I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to go back and forth in rounds, maybe even a 2-3.
I think in overall skill set, Darambo has a very high skill set on this case. They're able to land those kills, just as you can see there that just happened. The way that they shoot their mechanics, I mean, Dart is on top of the point with full health, meaning he didn't get touched once. Or maybe he picked up a health pack somewhere away. Doesn't seem like the case. But Dacoops and So Lucky, they've got a lot of strategic advantage as well. So we'll see how that plays out.
Second loop here. Icarumbo's playing it safe up on the ramps behind cover while Dark Killer jumps on point. Looks like, is Dark going to get the kill on So Lucky? He is. Dark Killer is taken out, but Icarumbo is able to clean up Dacoops' too.
Coming into loop 3 here, it looks like it might be Sokupi winning, or Darambo winning this one out, as they were able to get 3 clones on top of the point. All they gotta do is keep them alive, take the other guys out. And there goes Dacoops. Clone 3 brought down super low. He is playing home base around the health pack. He might be able to pick that up on his way back. Yes, he does, but 3 seconds left. Not a whole lot of time to get back on top of the point. And that's gonna be Darambo on top of the point with the first point of the game being in favor.
First round, Dacoops' 3 takes a lot of hits up on his at home base here by Dark Killer. And Icarumbo, he is taken out low. He's able to resync, and that's gonna get that gives him the ability to come around as we see him take out Dacoops' 3 there. He's not actually able to get on point, but doesn't matter because he has clones on already. And that goes first round to Dacoops.
Now, what I noticed Dart is really good at is he's really good at the pre-fire shots across the map. For whatever reason, the way that they designed the map here, you can clearly see from one point of the map to the other on the bottom side, and Dart is known to just fire very early on, especially if he pulls out a rifle, just to one-shot people on different loops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I don't believe we've seen a rifle yet, but SMG fire down that lane, either up top right or bottom right side, even bottom mid, or sorry, top left, top right, bottom mid, are great pre-fire locations because you know clones are gonna be pushing there.
A health pack's being taken out right now. All the players playing a little bit defensively, but with 3 seconds left, they're gonna make their push. So Lucky versus Karambo versus everybody. It looks like Karambo's the one that gets taken out at the end, but Dacoops still alive. So Lucky's clone 1 and Karambo's clone 1 on top of the point.
Karambo's 2 wins the fight against So Lucky and bottom left to blue side. And that allows him to come up and get some more kills and clean up a bit.
We see Karambo playing over on the center point here. He did pick up the health pack, but he got chunked down pretty low already. Dart, meanwhile, playing on his base, and So Lucky going on the offensive, trying to figure out and take down whoever he can. Dacoops already making his push on top of the point. He gets taken down. So Lucky might get taken down as well. He's got a sliver of health. He manages to survive it and bring it to overtime.
So Lucky was actually almost unintentionally hiding behind bodies as Karambo was shooting at him with his 3 there. Barely able to survive to push an OT. I believe that was the only red clone on.
Now, my biggest question is, how is Karambo's clone 1 still alive on top of the point with 100 health?
That is a great question. That's pretty unlikely to happen. Probably a combination of body blocking and just sensory overload, just because there's so much going on during that point on those last few seconds when you jump on.
Now we see only Karambo, but basically this game is just Karambo's clones on top of the point. But this clone 2, oh man, brought down to, what is it, 13 HP.
Both of Dark Killer and Karambo's are already really low. It looks like they are actually going to be taken out, one by Dacoops, one by So Lucky, I believe. And Sokupi have some massive point control here. All 4 clones on point. I think sitting around half health on each of them. And these 3s on blue are pretty low here, so it's not looking too good for...
Ooh, So Lucky getting deleted right off the get-go here. Not a whole lot of saving potential for him to come back into it. So now it's up to Dacoops to clear out whatever he can. Almost got taken down by the barrel. Luckily, he's on the other side of the wall. He manages to take down one of the members on blue side. It looks like it was Ikarambo. Dart still alive on top of the point, but he's taking heavy pre-fire. And this time, it's actually going to be So Koopy turning it around and getting their first point.
Dacoops did a really good job here. I actually forgot about So Lucky's Clone 3 on point with very low HP. He gets taken out immediately. That's not good. And Dark Killer actually got took out the very last second, giving him a fresh Clone 3 here. So Dacoops dodges this explosion, takes out Ikarambo at the health pack, and he's able to jump up, get some shots down on Dark Killer. I think Dark Killer's 3 is actually pre-fired a bit by all those red clones running around on point there. And Dacoops did a good job holding that up, holding point down for his team.
We've got a bit of hype coming in from chat as they see these players turn the game around. So Koopy weren't looking too good to start, especially from a 3-0 sweep, now coming in with their first point in a very strong turn in events.
Dacoops does a quicker draw on Ikarambo there. He's able to take him out and claim the point. One interesting thing is these players, when they race for these health packs, they be hot, but they think they're not going to make it. They won't go into that tight cubby to grab the side health packs because they know it's just a death trap. We saw both Clone 1 on left side of red actually did not take that health pack because of it.
And you see Ikarambo getting desynced by the barrel. That is going to be a play he could counteract in the future, but this time around, loop number 2, So Lucky is going to be the only one on top of the point.
Barrel strats on 2v2 are actually, they can be a little dangerous just because the chaos that's going on already. When you add in invisible clones in the mix, could get crazy. And
it doesn't look like we've seen too many invisible strats right at this moment. It looks like Karambo's going to take out that barrel before he goes into the action. On 3, he might be able to take down So Lucky, but no, he's going to make his rush towards the point, try to take down whoever he can, and that's another point for So Koopy.
we saw Ikarambo resynced here on the health pack, or he just stole it, my mistake. Barely taking that away from one of So Lucky's clones. But as we see, he actually pushes away and goes up the other ramp, tries to take out So Lucky, but he's not able to get on point in time to push an OT as Dacoops cleans up.
And it looks like Karambo got a little bit too distracted with So Lucky on the side there too. I mean, So Lucky, he wasn't really that close to the point. And Karambo needed to clear off whoever was on top of the point, but unfortunately wasn't able to do so because his partner Dart got desynced pretty early on the push.
Yeah, it's always hard when you're facing down an end control clone of the opponent. I mean, yeah, in hindsight, Ikarambo probably should have ran up a ramp, maybe tried to body block behind the chaos, get some kills down. But when you're looking at So Lucky, he's got a barrel aimed at you. You kind of have to deal with him sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely hard to ignore somebody pointing at you in the face with a SMG. Trying to stop your push, but it looks like Dacoops stopping blue side's push. The Rambo, only Ikarambo is still alive, but maybe not for long. No, he takes out Dacoops instead. Still alive on top of the point, along with So Lucky's Clone 1.
An uppercut sends Dacoops flying. Ikarambo's 2 is keeping covered behind the barrier. Got some really good damage down. So Lucky ended up dying on point, and he jumped on to clean up Dacoops. Loop 3.
And we see Dart gonna play back at home base here. Most likely Dacoops is as well, but Dart gonna be the one that gets desynced. Dacoops forced to pick up the health pack as well. Now with 4 seconds left on the clock, they're gonna make their push. So Lucky brought to pretty low health, and Dacoops already on top of the point with full health. That's gonna be the point and game and match for So Koopy.
1-3 as we saw in the first game. I thought it was going to go to 5 rounds. It did not. It ended at 4. As we see here, both 3s, Dacoops and Dark Killer's 3. Dacoops gets the kill. They both take the health pack, and So Lucky down here gets the kill up onto Dark Killer, who's jumping up on, and Ikarambo, who was in the cubby of the health pack, just couldn't quite get on in time to push into an OT. Too many clones to kill. Red team takes it.
And with that being said, our best of 3 match of So Koopy versus Rambo has come to an end, with So Koopy taking game 1, moving into the finals already. And our next game is going to be Darth and JP, also known as JD, versus Bint Hollow. So stay tuned. We'll be right back as we get the next game set up.